Very good afternoon. This always happens. Anyway, from the saying of "Mera beta doctor and engineer banega" to "Mera beta chef hai," we've come a long way. So a big round of applause to all of us. Gentlemen, welcome to the Chef's Theatre this afternoon. What you're seeing is a motley group of artists, culinary artists, who bring their passion on your table and try to woo you through their food. But like everything evolves in this world, so does food. And we are looking at a very dynamic and a very aggressive change in the dynamics across the world, with AI taking over, ChatGPT taking over, modern technology taking over. And today's discussion is pretty much a candid discussion between all our esteemed members over here about how they see the food trends evolving, how hyperlocal is becoming progressive local, how AI is taking over food technology, how e-commerce is driving their businesses from the back end. And we will try to brainstorm a few pain points. We'll talk about opportunities, and we'll try to have an open discussion. My request to all the audience members over here also is to make it more interactive. Wherever you have a question or a doubt for any of the comments that are being expressed over here, please raise your hands, and we'll keep it interactive. Rather than it being a one-sided conversation, let us have an open conversation for all of us to join in together. So without much ado, let us start this session. And my open question to all of you over here is, what is the most driving or fastest change technologically that you're seeing in the food business, in the culinary business, the day of today?
Wow, thanks. Always put on the spot. I feel that fresh food being packaged for longer shelf life is the fastest trend that I have noticed. I've worked in the restaurant cleaning department, cooking department, all through my initial time. And I feel that now that I'm on the FMCG side with our chocolates and with our mithai, with the QSR space, I feel that a lot of people are expecting a lot of packaging, but they want freshness, but they want shelf life without chemical preservatives. So there's a lot of technology being involved, like your MAP packaging, that is helping extend shelf life and making more products exportable. That being said, along with that, quick access is something that people are looking forward to. For example, if I want to eat chole bhature from Delhi, Zomato gives me that access, that I can order it to my home in Bombay. So I think that whole marriage sort of comes back to shelf life and access. Like, people want things now, and they want it for long. So I don't know how it works, but I would like to pass the...
Convenience is the next game. Okay, so convenience in terms of how technology can bring in speed of cooking, reduce wastages, reduce skill level, and about how technology can bring in cooking in terms of the handi cooking for 6,000 people, came with tilting pans. Now there are automatic kettles. Now there are modes of cooking, in a combi oven, there are kettles, and there are different things from cutter. In fact, last one exhibition called Intak, there are cutting machines. Initially, it used to be only German machines, but then there are Indian manufacturing machines. When you talk about mithai, it is MAP technology. You know how you can take the sweets to without adding any preservatives for 12 months. There are machines how you can have a very aseptic conditions of the kitchen. There are humidifiers. There are freeze drying products, you know. So technology has taken over, and it is very, very important because, again, packed food, longer shelf life, new geographical locations. People want to scale up very fast. You know, investors are coming in before even opening one shop. They are saying, "I want to open 12." You know, so all this speed is the most thing which is happening. And like likely, the focus from fresh has also been to processed food. Even if in process they want fresh. You know how you can get freshness in processed food. How the labeling can be right, you know, the right sort of health, nutrition quotient, you know, can be there. And so that is a very big thing. So how I get to know is being a chef who always worked for fresh hotels and restaurant, now my portfolio 50% is processed food. When I say processed, it is millet chips, it is some sort of a very unique mayonnaises, which they want, you know, unique flavors we have unheard of. It is some ready to cook gravies. So a lot of different things. It is our matris in a different way, our namkeens which can be done with the addition of fusion of flavors. So that all comes into processed foods. So more focus on packaging and cloud kitchen, the two segments which are growing very, very fast.
So I would agree with Chef Pai for this, and I would like to add into those points whereby, so I speak to almost around 150 chefs a month, and I have a chefs network which helps me to connect with the chefs. And being a distributor for more than 300 brands in Mumbai and Pune itself, helped me to connect with all of them, and you get the unique request from them. Sometimes I could see technology has taken over around 20% of the market right now, but there is a lot more still which happens in the regular way, and there are certain ways a technology should get into it, but it is not completely got into it. There are still traditional way we are still cooking the food. There are ways where we are delivering the food in a typical older ways. I myself is working on an e-commerce portal whereby I am trying to work out on a portal which serves and delivers food like a Zepto to an hotels and restaurants. Like the Zeptos and Blinkits have done it in a way whereby they have changed the entire model whereby they deliver it in 15 minutes, and they praise about it that we will work on the same. So similar way we would like to work in the supply chain for the HoReCa segment as well, and that is where the technology matters the most. The ingredients, if reaches to you in a right way and in a time which you want it to be, then the complete process changed in a way. So that is where the technology plays a major role. Your supply chain, your processing of food, the way chef has said, processing the food in a way whereby it still remains the fresh, like Harsh is also mentioned in a similar way. So what I feel is that technology has not got into it completely, but yet I can see that it is getting into it with the products that there are some of the amazing products that I have worked with. There are some people that we were discussing that we never could have imagined a coconut chutney keeping outside for 2 hours. There are products which at an ambient temperature you can keep in coconut chutney for 12 months with a shelf life, and it exactly tastes the way you have made it in a fresher way. And there are multiple players coming into it. For a mashed potato, I could imagine when I used to make a mashed potato, we used to bake a potato, skin it out, then do a mash, then mash it up. Now there are potato flakes which are easily cooked and easily. So that way it is coming, the technology helping the chefs. And when it comes to, I think there was some discussion about the menu creation also in the chat GPT. I think we are still very far from that. Yes, we could use it. So it is like a very simple, technology is there, but you know how to use it. For a very simple example, I've just went to this washroom whereby they have kept a soap dispenser which is a sensor based, but there are people who are playing with it. They don't know how to put an hand and where to put an hand to soap that comes out. So it is exactly with the chat GPT and the menu. If you don't know what to put in there, you will not get what you get. So that is my bit of it on a technology front.
Started around 30 years ago when McDonald's came to India, where the use of technology, which was pre-processed frozen patties, lettuce, the transportation, the logistics which they had made, started off there. The journey in India started off there, where others, I think in the last 10, 15 years, people have just caught on to that entire model of, I would say it's called QSRization of entire thing. Like maybe it's a restaurant or a hotel or a banqueting or a cloud kitchen. It's an interesting concept, I would say. Technology helps in standardization, for sure. Uh, but it also has its pros and cons. You need training to be done properly to adapt to that type of culture. Like, for example, McDonald's or Domino's would have that kind of strong training culture where to make it idiot-proof, a part-timer can make a pizza. But even if it's processed gravies or anything, if it's not handled in a proper way, it's not going to get you the final result. So I think we are a long way to go in terms of adopting that technology properly, the new technology of processed food. But it's an interesting journey where we are learning as chefs, we are learning each and every day. Like right from making 30 years ago a mayonnaise to a pre-packaged mayonnaise which is vegetarian. Uh, yes, we have come a long way, but still a long way to go.
Hi, I guess we'll have to put it across in two steps, two stages, pre-COVID and post-COVID. Because, the pre-COVID was something, you really don't remember now. I remember making mayonnaise, just like the way he said, getting 10 liters of oil before ready, and then actually having that process of when to put the oil, when to put, how much the eggs to be beaten, because it was required for the party, and it was never ending. And now post-COVID, you see the industry really on a very different tangent altogether. It has really taken over in terms of, first of all, we are facing a lot of manpower issues. So we are looking at a lot of processed foods right now, like everybody thinks it's convenient to open the packet and just put the sauce, add water and finish. It is in both the segments, in industrial segment, in restaurants and all, or in domestic sector also. Nobody has got the time now. They have time on the phone, but they don't have time to, actually cook something or have a nice hearty meal at home. So there's a little bit of, it is all driven by what you see around. People have forgotten what actually to eat. Whatever is available, they see, okay, one of their brands is selling it. They try to bring it, they like it, they post it, review it. So it's a very gamut of different sectors or different elements that we see. Overall, I think for as a chef, when we see what we can look in the future, or how this technology will help us build our own self, and because finally we are here to serve good food, we are here to give awareness. We have created awareness. Who knew Khawswe? When we started making Khawswe in 1996, 94. Nobody knew what Khawswe was. It was all bought from, okay, this is a Burmese dish. Then there are a lot of Punjabis there, so they put besan, and that's why, seriously, it was all those kind of Sindhis there. So it was all these kind of stories that we built upon. And now you really get to know, all right, Thai curries, we have to had put galangal, but now you open the packet and, oh no, there's no galangal in it. But, there was a situation where the stalwarts of those years would taste and really hammer the chefs or, the person that there is no authenticity to it. Have you ever been to Bangkok and actually tried Thai curry? No, sir, we have never been. It was like in books, we were only shown avocado or a broccoli, but we have never seen in college. And now things have changed so much. We get frozen foods. We are getting foods from all over the world. So it is a wonderful, but right now we are in a very mixed stage where the consumer is not aware what they are eating. They just hear some dietitian telling them, okay, you should be vegan or you should be gluten-free, and then everybody is following that route. So I guess, we as chefs should create awareness, because first, whatever comes, it comes to us. We are the ones who actually, taste or try out the dish. I remember basa, when nobody knew. I got that fish basa and I was like really flipped. Wow, lovely fish, and it takes up all the flavors. But later on, I realized there were so many rumors, stories, scams, that this has got mercury in it, this is not good for health. Then there was Indian basa, and it is all over the place now. So it is wonderful for us that we see the changes that is happening so fast, so quickly, post 2 years now. I'm really happy that I'm in the right time of this industry, because I have seen what was earlier, and I know what is going, and I can already anticipate how things are going to move forward. So that's my take on this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chef Tesha. So with technology, one thing I would like to say, I'm the biggest fan of technology, for a very simple reason. Why, if I have to go back to a few years and take that scene where Amir Khan was saying, machine is something that reduces human effort. So whatever the technology is doing is reducing the human effort. As Chef said, we are in short of manpower. And I'm in the business of consulting, where every new project, new skill set, I have to hire on month basis. So that stress I don't have the time to take, rather invest in a technology. And the best part with that, what happens is, consistency is also something that is achieved. Like yesterday itself, like if I have to don't go away far away, I was there at another exhibition which is currently happening in another part of the town, and I saw an induction where the induction had sensor on it where you could actually feed in your recipes. Though I was aware of, I've already been using smart combi ovens, etc., blah, blah, blah. I saw, of course, it must have been there earlier. For me, it was the first time. But when I realized, okay, now you have a product where I can start at a certain temperature, adjust the temperature within the cooking, get the desired result, and all that is feeded. So how much of an effort it helps for all of us, it was mesmerizing for me. Last week I was traveling. I stopped down at McDonald's drive away. There was no man, there was nothing. You just go, there's a webcam, they sees you, they take your order, you go ahead, you pay, you pick up your order and you leave. That's so amazing. Like, that's what technology is. It's speed, it saves time, it's efficient. So embracing technology is very, very important, but most importantly, I feel usage of the technology matters. Like these smart combi ovens which are there in the market since a while, optimum usage of those ovens are still not done. Whether it's the smart ovens or it is those speed ovens or any other such equipments. So that is one thing that I guess we are lacking. We are still very traditional in our approach. Being traditional is fine. Fantasizing and romancing our tradition is one thing. But being realistic is very important because at the end of the day, we are in the business of F&B. Satisfying our own ego is one aspect of things, but delivering it exactly the way the clientele needs in today's time is also equally important. So technology, these ways I feel is very good. Now that is one part of it. The other thing is, if each project that we do, everyone has different budgets. AI is helping them develop their logos without paying for anything. All the photography that my job as a food stylist is going away, but it's okay, I understand, everyone cannot afford that. So at least they are doing that. So everyone will have different budgets. These technologies are at least helping the business in a certain manner. People are able to cut down so much. The cost of cameraman is going there. The cost of food styling is going away. A graphic designer is going away. So imagine the P&L statement that eventually comes out is going to be profitable for the project. So different areas. When I look into food, I recently did a project where I was working with a hydroponic farm. Now who knew you could grow lettuce in your bedroom? And that too usko wash nahi karna padta hai, wo sabse badi baat. I remember getting scolding from my chef when lettuce mein matti reh jata tha. I just still remember that, and there I'm plucking the lettuce right in front of the guest, converting it into a salad and serving it him or her right there. That is amazing.
So 10 years back when I was about 15, 16 years back, when I was recreating the SOPs for Subway India, we had this difficulty of lettuce. The only lettuce that was grown in North was in Nainital. And Delhi market was huge. And we had to go to Nainital to procure the lettuce. And one had to pretty much see each and every leaf thoroughly to avoid putting insects, because the lettuce was full of bugs, worms. From that to the hydroponics that we are doing, it's a short journey of 15 years, but we've come a long way. So yeah, I agree with you.
And the hydroponic technology, I'm such a huge fan. Like we talk of products from this country, that country. We actually in the same farm we grow San Marzano tomatoes. Now imagine getting that tin at whatever cost you get and you're making it here at the price of a local tomato and a better quality. So I guess I'm a big fan of it, and the reasons I have, and I think everyone should look into embracing technology more and more. So definitely it will be of a lot of help to us. Chef Roy.
Good afternoon, everyone. So technology.
Just before you start, we've been talking about food processing, and I think processed food,
Yes.
again, no one can talk better than
Yeah.
you.
So because I was just about to say, technology, it plays a very important role when it comes to the companies where I'm working as of now, for mayonnaise, for example, packaging foods. So it's very important for us to have the proper preservatives, proper technology will be used in making proper mayonnaise, processed properly, SOPs need to be followed properly, especially when it comes to QSR chains, where we've been asked, for example, there are many brands who ask their specialty recipes to create their recipes into process for where they get the shelf life of 4 to 6 months, where now they are having shelf life of only 3 to 4 days. For example, fresh garlic mayo. 3 days, not maximum they can use. Now, this is where we come under process, where we do R&D, research and developments for them. We add proper preservatives, which is good, which is not harmful, and that to have proper shelf life of 4 to 6 months with proper taste and flavors. Now, another task where we have in supply chain management. Everywhere we don't have distributors. Before, the dependency of distributors are too much, where अगर distributor नहीं है तो we cannot deliver to the product. Now, the technology has come under place. Now we have Porter, we have whatever all the platforms where we can deliver from directly from a warehouse to the whatever company they wanted. So it plays a very important role. When we have graduated in 2009, we were supposed, as chef said, we were to have proper 10 liters ka olive oil into our hand, egg yolks nikala hua ho, and we're going to make process that mayonnaise proper. Now I'm working in a company where we produce 10 tons of mayo within a day. So I have seen the changes from 2009, 2023, how technology has played a so important role, that too from ordering, where we used to have 10 stewards standing over there taking the order. Now just tap away, you have to take the menu, you have to place the order directly after 10 minutes, the order is on your table. Secondly, specialized jobs where people need to have proper knowledge. Skilled laborers are very less, there is a shortage of, and post-COVID, the people have become more aware about their ingredients. Now people ask, ये butter है कि fat spread है? This has been changed post-COVID. Now people are very, now my nephew itself, when he goes out to have a dosa, he asks, भैया इसमें क्या डाला है आपने? Amul butter है कि इसमें Nutella है? He said Nutella मत add करना. My mama has said, no, this is not good for the health. Oily खाना है तो वड़ा पाव खाओ. ठीक है? So it's end of it, now people have become more aware about the ingredients. Is it aromat or it is a agino? Now people have started asking you questions right away on the table with the chefs. Pehle these encounters were not supposed to have before COVID. Post-COVID, all these things has come into the notice. People have become more aware. For example, mayo. Fat percentage kitna hai? What kind of oil you are using into it? It's a palm oil, a sunflower oil, a soya oil. What kind of preservatives you are adding into it? Tandoori flavor kahan se aa gaya iske andar? So we have to explain them how we are processed, how the quality has been taken care of, what kind of oil content into it, how much if we are having cheese sauce, so how much % of cheese powder we are having into it. Shelf life se leke each and everything has been taken care of. So this is where people like us have a more dependency on the technologies, plus chefs have to take care of food cost. Every chef cannot make their mayo, their everything fresh day to day on a daily basis. So it's very important to have proper SOPs under place to make sure that this has been repeated properly under food cost. So this is where we have come across the technology from restaurants to QSRs to manufacturing everywhere. Thank you so much.
Hi. Hello. I'm Ishijyot. Yeah. So my take on it is a little different because everybody's talking on the processed food front, and working in a restaurant or running a restaurant business, there has been a lot of change that is coming through the chat GPT AI, because there is points, every client has his own set of queries. So running a restaurant, we find a lot of FAQs from clients. So what we've started doing now with technology coming in, through the chat GPT, a client can just put in his query and he knows what ingredient is going. The assurity of ingredients, the assurity of getting served the right product, that's what technology is doing for us today. It's creating a little bit of ruckus whereby the human interface is going. And I think as a restaurateur, the only thing that we really carry and boast about is our interaction with the guest. So we are feeling that is coming down a bit with the new technologies coming in. But yes, it is making guests more comfortable when it comes to their queries. It's making people more knowledgeable on what they really want. It's also, technology is very fruitful for us when we want to check into the analysis of what's really the trend. So, market trends, we used to sit and write down and note, what was the sale and which product was running how much. Today, we just open one click of a button and you have the full analysis in front of you. So it gives us more scope as chefs to be able to analyze and channelize what our next menu should be and what are people really wanting to. And one other drawback of it is we've got new Instagram So it's all Instagram food, whether I cook
We'll
it,
be
whether
coming
people
back to
taste
that
it,
also.
it's all Instagram food at the end of the day. So at times we get clients who only take a photo, I have not seen them eat. So, that's nowadays in restaurants, I feel people order for clicking the food more than consuming it. So there that Instagram is coming in a big way.
This is what I have been come across.
That is different. She's an Instagram chef. People come in just to take a photograph of food and influencer.
This is what I have come.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I just said.
This is also what happened with me also in last year when I was working as a corporate chef for a momos company. So he just came and shown me the one pic of a blogger, chef मेरे को ऐसा बना के चाहिए. Well, okay, what's the ingredients क्या है? नहीं ऐसा कुछ replica बना के दो. अरे that blogger have made for their time pass के लिए. You are showing at me that this is what you have to make chef. ये अच्छा लग रहा है दिखने में. What about the ingredients they are using? How they are using? Can they make that bloody 2,000 pieces of momos every day? I have to produce that. Well, that person has made only 6 pieces of momos. I don't know that too alone for time pass. That you're bringing to me and telling me you have to create a recipe of with this with proper recipes. That too I have to put that into my menu and I have to make minimum 2,000 pieces of that every day, just by seeing that Instagram photo. Just by looking at Instagram photo. That person has put it over there for time pass, that I have to replicate properly into my SOPs. That too by just looking at the pic. So that's become the another task for many of these chefs. They must be agree. Their owners or founders, members, they come just go, "Arey, aisa kuch bana ke do. I have seen this over there." So, okay, you saw that over there, but tell me what is there inside that? Because there is a flour on top of it. Insert kya ho pata nahi. So that is the big task becomes for many of the chefs.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Chef Vivek from Pune, Shelke Group. Actually, मैं हिंदी में एक्सप्लेन करूँगा थोड़ा. टेक्नोलॉजी डेफिनेटली टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ क्वालिटी कंसिस्टेंसी एंड अगेन ट्रेनिंग हर जगह पे यूज़ हो सकती है टेक्नोलॉजी. एज ए जस्ट सेड दैट मैन पावर इशू वाज देयर इन कोविड. आई स्टार्टेड माय बिजनेस इन कोविड ओनली by hiring people, those who have not worked in hotel industry or those who was having dream of opening restaurant. Some are from bank or some are from other retail industries and all. So here comes the technology where we can teach them. I started taking restaurant there are many restaurant which was closed during that period. I started with one. And I started giving these people training, 15 days training, and I started giving them job. So within 6 to 7 months, 18 restaurant was on board. Okay, and first 6 months, we cater around 25,000 meal in Mumbai. We used to work 24 hours sometimes because it was pressure. As migrant worker, those who worked on cruise liner, especially Carnival, then Indus, they was coming back to their home. So it was a challenge to take the meal up to these people to airport, okay, and without any additional resources. It was like startup, as I said. I started my business maybe I invested in this business for just 5,000 rupees initially. Okay, I used to means technology, as we said. I was at home 3 months, 1.5 months. I was at home. Initial pandemic part, everyone was scared. Okay, then I thought what I will do, because I was working with Kolhapur Fun Hotel, and और maximum जो traveling था वो बंद हो चुका था. So I thought it is very difficult to travel there. So better why not to start something. सो मैंने एक फेसबुक पे पेज क्रिएट किया. आई स्टार्टेड सेलिंग वेजिटेबल चिकन. मैं ही कट करता था रेस्टोरेंट में विथ माई 2 हेल्पर. मैं ही डिलीवरी करने जाता था. समटाइम्स इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज एम्प्टी रेस्टोरेंट्स थे. ओनली थिंग वेज नॉन वेज मैंने अलग कर दिया था. एंड ये फेसबुक पेज पे इट इज़ नाउ डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज सी व्हाट विल हैपन. क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी में ये ट्विस्ट है कि नाउ आई हैव पीपल वन हु वर्क फॉर अदिदास शोरूम में काम किया हो बंदा, कोई गारमेंट में काम किया हो बंदा. अभी डिलीवरी तो आया, ऑर्डर भी आया, तो इनको मैं भेजूंगा तो एक्सप्लेन कैसे करेंगे. मैंने तो फेसबुक पेज बहुत अच्छा बना दिया. सो टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ करके ये छोटे छोटे बिजनेस शुरू करते करते मैंने मैरिनेशन शुरू किए थे. अगेन ये भी टेक्नोलॉजी का ही कमाल था. मैंने ऐसे ही नॉट इवन एआई, दैट टाइम एआई भी नहीं था और मुझे तो सस्ते में बिजनेस करना था, तो मैं इमेजेस कॉपी कर लेता था, स्क्रीनशॉट लेता था और फेसबुक पे डालता था. तो ये सस्ता ये चक्कर करके करके मैंने फ्रोजन शॉप को डिलीवर करना शुरू कर दिया.
इसको हम इनोवेशन बोलते हैं.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली. तो नाउ 2 kg 3 kg 31st के पहले 5 दिन मेरे पास अराउंड 300 kg का ऑर्डर था. मैं 2 दिन मैरिनेट ही कर रहा था क्योंकि मेरा ये था जो मोटो, या मैंने सबको जो बोला था शॉप्स को कि आई डू मैरिनेशन फॉर 12 आवर. ओके, यू विल गेट मेनी पीपल who will do instant marination, but this is properly marinated meat you can use. तो ये ट्रेनिंग पार्ट भी हुआ. कंसिस्टेंसी अगेन, अभी ये कंसिस्टेंसी लाना है तो हमें वी स्टार्टेड वन बिरयानी आउटलेट विच इज़ इन वसई. अगेन वहाँ पे भी जो लोग थे वो दे वॉज समवेयर फ्रॉम अदर इंडस्ट्री. दे नेवर कुक्ड फूड. 3 महीना उनके ऊपर वर्कआउट किया. लेकिन ये है कि अगर हमारा प्रोडक्ट हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करके बनाएंगे तो वो अपना रहता है, वो भागेंगे नहीं. तो ये मैंने एक लर्निंग पॉइंट ऑफ लिया. मिसल हाउस खोले हमने, पिज़्ज़ेरिया, और गॉड ग्रेस से अभी लास्ट 4 ईयर से एवरीवन इज़ डूइंग गुड. हर एक आउटलेट अच्छा है. हम फ्रेंचाइजी नहीं चाहते तो हमने फ्रेंचाइजी भी नहीं लाई. ओके, हमारे सीक्रेट फार्मूला थे जो हम लोग, मैं ब्लेंड बनाता था घर पे बाय यूजिंग बेसिक टेक्नोलॉजी. यही करते करते अभी मैं शेल के ग्रुप तक आया. Now we are starting spice factory. Then again we are coming with the dehydrated, ready to eat gravies and all. तो टेक्नोलॉजी डेफिनेटली टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत हेल्प करेगी. इसका कहना है कि इंस्टेड ऑफ इसके पहले 10 साल पहले 15 साल पहले हम लोग जो आई स्टार्टेड विथ ताज लैंड सेंड, देन आई वर्क फॉर मैरिएट, देन आई वर्क फॉर एम्बेसडर. वी यूज्ड टू स्लॉग फॉर 12, 14, 15 आवर्स. सो अभी ऐसा लगता है कि ये स्लॉग करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ये जो स्लॉगिंग पीरियड था जो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना गधा अमली करते थे, येस इट इज़ तपस्या. फूड इंडस्ट्री इतनी इजी नहीं है कि यहाँ पे तपस्या करके आना ही है. लेकिन वो तपस्या इतनी भी लंबी नहीं होनी चाहिए कि हमें कमर्शियल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी सोचना चाहिए. तो वो अपना जो प्रैक्टिकल एंड जो टाइम ऑल्सो इज़ मनी, तो वो पॉजिटिव जो चीज़ें करनी चाहिए, लाइक इनोवेटिव आइडियाज़ हम लोग ला सकते हैं, ट्रेन कर सकते हैं हमारे स्टाफ को. तो टेक्नोलॉजी वी कैन यूज़ हियर ऑल्सो. ओके, सो दिस इज़ माई पॉइंट दैट टेक्नोलॉजी विल सेव योर मनी एंड टेक्नोलॉजी विल गिव अस अ रिपीट क्लाइंट ऑल्सो. बिकॉज नाउ वी कैनॉट रिमेन लाइक 15 ईयर 20 ईयर बैक, और एनी नया स्टार्टअप हमें करना है तो वी हैव टू compete with people. और जैसे शेट्टी ग्रुप्स ऑफ होटल्स है, लाइक मेनी शेट्टीज एंड ये अपने जो उड़पे रेस्टोरेंट है, ये सालों साल चलते आ रहे हैं. तो ये एक ही रात में नहीं हुआ बिजनेस है. दैट इज ऑल्सो टेक्नोलॉजी. व्हाट टेक्नोलॉजी दे आर यूजिंग, शेट्टी मेंटालिटी, शेट्टी टेक्नोलॉजी, दैट इज ऑल्सो टेक्नोलॉजी. सो ये टेक्नोलॉजी हमें अगर रेस्टोरेंट ओपन करना है, नया कुछ बिजनेस स्टार्टअप करना है, तो वी हैव टू अप्लाई दैट ऑल्सो. सो ये अभी 25 साल तो हम लोग मेहनत नहीं कर सकते. सो विद इन शॉर्टर पीरियड अगर ऑप्टिमम यूज ऑफ रिसोर्सेज एंड वी वांट टू गिव अ प्रॉपर रिजल्ट, देन टेक्नोलॉजी पे निर्भर रहना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगेन टेक्नोलॉजी कैनॉट कॉपी शेफ लाइक अस, सो हमें डर नहीं है उस बात का. बट वी हैव टू बी अपडेटेड विद द टाइम एंड वी हैव टू यूज द टेक्नोलॉजी इन द राइट वे. एप्लीकेशन नीड्स टू बी राइट वे और राइट टाइम पे होना ज़रूरी है. इफ इसमें थोड़ा इफ एंड वट हो गया तो फिर थोड़ी गड़बड़ हो सकती है. लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी ने बहुत बड़ा पार्ट मेरे लाइफ में किया हुआ है, बिकॉज आई मेनी शेफ्स यहाँ पे बैठे जिनके साथ मैंने पहले काम किया है. शेफ नीलेश, आई यूज्ड टू वॉच हिम ऑन डीडी नेशनल व्हेन आई वाज इन 8th स्टैंडर्ड. मैं उनको देखता था और वहाँ से मेरा ड्रीम शुरू हुआ था टू बिकम अ शेफ. And later on, after working in industry, I did the same DD National show, 150 episode I did on Ruchira. So मेरी इंस्पिरेशन वहाँ से शुरू होती है, शेफ को देख के मैं आया था. तो यही मेरा इनपुट है कि टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रॉपर यूज़ सही समय पे और सही तरीके से किया जाए तो डेफिनेटली वी विल डू अ गुड थिंग्स विथ मिनिमम कॉस्ट. थैंक यू सर.
Good afternoon, everyone. My take on this would be like I would start with pre-COVID and post-COVID again. Pre-COVID, we used to have in hotels we used to have clearly defined departments. South Indian, Indian, tandoor, etc. Everybody was there. Now, after post-COVID, while everything else deliverables went back to normal, like quality and consistency, etc. All that went to normal, but lesser manpower was a new normal. So with lesser manpower, there's a need for multi-skilled people. And how do you get them multi-skilled? Because the stereotype is there. मैं Indian का chef हूँ, तो मैं Chinese कैसे करूँगा? या मैं सिर्फ तंदूर जानता हूँ, मैं Indian कैसे करूँगा? Gravy मुझे नहीं आती है. So these were the challenges that we were facing, with the manpower budgets slashed. So what do? We turn to technology, pack stuff, pack gravy laya, pack Chinese sauce laya. Now you can make this, now you can make that. So yes, it helped us break the stereotype and create multi-skilled. Multi-skilled is the way forward for these kitchens now.
Should I actually talk about Instagram?
Yes, let's get started.
Okay. It is a very controversial topic, and I think one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, are you a real chef or are you a real chef? And I think it's important to understand that when I got into this, I had a career in finance and I gave it up and I got into this. I wanted to get into the education aspect of it. But no longer were people, especially after COVID, post-COVID, it was so much more convenient to pick up your phone, write the name of a recipe, have the entire thing there, and in fact get real-time access to ask a question to the creator or the chef as well. That people weren't wanting to walk into a cooking studio to learn, because you could literally just drop in a message and you would have an answer, right? And when it came to the education aspect of it, I feel Reels, YouTube made it much easier. But one thing that really does cringe me a lot is when people, it's very easy now to kind of just put on and add the name chef, like just add that title, right? There's no one who's actually even validating it. And you're just a content creator, someone who cooks, and just to be viral, you end up creating a total absolute menace. Like sometimes it's so cringeworthy what people do. Oh my God, yeah. But yeah, they do everything. And it's so weird and sad that people do anything to create controversy, because controversy will get you attention, and any attention is good when you're trying to go viral. But I honestly feel like when it comes to technology, I started off, there was a request from a family member. I had my own patisserie, who just wanted me to create a cake which replicated Parker's chocolate cake in Dubai. And I replicated it. The only fun part, like the fun or not, was that the whole strip didn't actually come off, so we had to pull it up. Someone took a video, put it on Reels, and I didn't even ever anticipate or think about it. There was a new product which the whole audience, in fact, Instagram launched for me, called the Pull Me Up Cake. I haven't named it, but by the end of it, every day we were doing at least 100 of those cakes. So that's where I look at what it did for me is kind of gave me a totally new product which helped me establish my own business in that aspect. I feel if you do use technology right, It can replace marketing very well. When it comes to marketing expense for whether you're a restaurant, whether you're a product, there's so much you can do. The way you market it also, you can do targeted marketing when you're trying to cater to a particular influencer, content creator, or chef, or anyone. It can also be used to educate. So if you look at technology in that manner, it works perfectly well. And I feel like also when there was a conversation that we were having about cookbooks, right? I find it to a huge extent. I was considering writing one, and then someone was like, hey, but will I be able to ask you questions? Like, I'll have to write you a mail, and by the time you reply, why don't you just like continue doing this? Because it's easier to drop you a DM or a comment and get a reply. That convenience that we were talking about, technology in this aspect makes it much easier. And for any business owner in today's day and age, Instagram is the new newspaper. When you wake up, you go on Instagram or you go on Twitter, right? The advertising, if a brand starts to use it intelligently, there is so much you can do with it. And that's where I feel like as chefs also, it kind of opens up. For example, I now work with the European Union. The idea is to get their farm to fork strategy to kind of be able to be a spokesperson and spread that message. Again, a platform like Instagram or YouTube makes it much easier for you to have it. So I'm a total believer that if you use technology smartly, there is so much you can get out of it, whether you're a restaurant, whether you're a cafe, whether you're selling water bottle, it's your messaging and it's about how you want to use it as a marketing tool. So, yeah.
Just hold on to that thought. I want to continue this discussion. It's a very, very important point because Instagram is a necessary evil, if I may say so.
Yes.
And we must all learn how to adapt. But not only Instagram, there are several other platforms that we will discuss upon. But before that, I would like to invite Mr. Pradeep Rao from Evolved Food, who would like to invite all of us to a tasting. So just a 5-minute pause in this scheme of things. And at the same time, I would request the audience out here to also integrate yourselves into this open discussion. This is a discussion of think tanks related to the culinary world. We are full of anecdotes, we are full of stories of the evolution that we've seen in the food journey, in the culinary journey. We'll be talking more about it. But in the meantime, if there are any questions, we are open to take that. Mr. Pradeep Rao.
Hi, everyone. Am I audible? Yes. Okay. It's a small room anyway. I actually came thinking about how do I introduce the product and other things, but this is more about your own candid stories, how things went about, and you used the word tapasya. That really struck a chord. I come from a company called Evolved Foods. We have been trying to build this for about 4.5 years now. It's a plant-based protein company. What started as a plant-based meat company between a vegetarian and a Bengali wife who wanted her kosha mangsho has led to a patented product right here from India, which offers you a whole muscle texture, and it's a chef's product. That's why we are not in any of the stalls. We wanted to be here with you all. It's a product that is made of coconut for fat, soy for protein, and rice protein, which also helps you break down the protein much, much faster in metabolic level. So it has been taken into account in terms of the nutrition aspects, the health, wellness, sustainability. All of these angles have been taken into account. And as you were mentioning, nowadays your veto customers are changing. There are nutritionists, there are wellness consultants who are guiding people what to consume. And those people who do not get an option in the menu, they have started opting for restaurants that are experimental. They're all inclusive. So we are trying to bring this particular product, which is the whole muscle texture, but the positioning that we have been looking at is the protein deficiency. In India, 80% vegetarians are protein deficient, 60% non-vegetarians as well. And there is a growing number of plant-based people. There are people who have thyroid issues. So they are all switching to plant-based or alternatives. It need not be just plant-based meats as such. Millet also is picking up because of the sustainability angle and how good it is for the climate fight. So this is the product which we wanted to showcase to you. There are two dishes which have been brought here, both from Trippy Goat Cafe from Kamla Mills. Chef Vishal, he has prepared this. One dish is called Not So Mutton Sukka. It's a Tamilian dish. It's just chunks which you can try, which can be paired with parathas, rotis, or rice, multiple ways it can be consumed. And this is a chef's product, as I said. We give the raw material and they upcycle it to whatever they want. The second dish is a barbecue steak with roasted potato and grilled veggies. So I hope you will enjoy this, and please do keep us in your mind. If you think that you would like to expand your menu, I will be bringing my card here. I'll be standing here. Hope to network with you and seeking your guidance as well. I come from real estate. My wife comes from tech background, but we wanted to solve a problem. That's why we have been in this for 4.5 years.
Lovely, Mr. Rao. In fact, thank you so much. And that's exactly what technology does. Brings people from different walks of life into a platform to solve the gaps or fill up the gaps. In fact, coming to what you were saying, I think we would agree. The EU27 also in their Plan 2025 have marked plant-based proteins as a focus sector to kind of, replenish the world with sustainable protein sources. So yeah, this is an interesting concept. We will definitely be wanting to hear a chef's perspective on plant-based proteins. How do you see and how would you like to perceive and incorporate it into your products? So while we are tasting, perhaps we can quickly and briefly broach upon this. Mike.
Hello. Can I just say something?
Yes, of course.
Because we are on plant-based, and India is the only probably country which has a vegetarian community, and they are though they are not by choice, it's more about from the religion aspect. But when we talk about plant-based and we're trying to create meat, but somehow I feel why this is not really getting popular, or it is not for me. I've not really adapted to it, because if you see our Indian grains and pulses, they have amazing connect with, which can be more better than considering it like a plant-based meat. So if it is, I'm being very upfront here, I just want to be a very open discussion. So I always felt that, masoor dal, which has got amazing meat quality. If you try to make it into a cutlet, or even if you try to make it into a gravy, you feel you are eating a nice keema mutton. Jackfruit, again wonderful. Aubergine. So for my basic question, I wanted to ask this question for quite a long time, that why are we trying to make it into a non-vegetarian? Why can't we just keep it like a vegetarian? Because it is vegetarian, just to keep it more simplified. Yeah. Eating plant-based mutton is mostly Western concept, because they have been eating meat all their life, and then suddenly they can't realize that, oh, this is also available. And while we have been eating vegetarian all our life, and non-veg was not such a big part. And then why are we trying to create this kind of a controversy, or make it more complicated in our own cuisine?
So I think you replied in your own statement. It's more of a global concept, and taking our food global. While we are spoiled for choices in the vegetarian field, I recently designed a vegetarian restaurant in Gujarat, and it is a Jain and Swaminarayan centric progressive Indian food restaurant, and we wanted to incorporate strawberries and jackfruit in our menu, and we were told not to. Because strawberries have seeds on the outside, so they can't be eaten, and jackfruit resembles meat, and beetroot has color of blood. So you can't use these three aspects. So yeah, there are limitations, and therefore you have to play around all those things. So in essence, I think plant-based protein is definitely a global concept, but also helps take our food to a much wider and much global audience. Just my take to it.
Yeah, but Sukha mutton is amazing. Sukha mutton, this one is amazing, and we could have had a glass of wine with it. It would have been much better.
So, can I?
The only issue I see with this is that obviously I was supposed to say that the kind of thing he was talking, and we are right talking about the technology here, and this is the great product comes out of the technology. And the way chef has mentioned jackfruit, being supplying for around 2,000 hotels and restaurants in Mumbai. So we keep talking to our clients and our chefs, and the product that comes with a good response are the jackfruits. People are shocked to see jackfruits, and they have not now started using it as a meat alternative. But हमारा issue यही है इंडिया में कि जब तक डर नहीं बैठता तब तक कुछ नहीं करना है. जैसे बोलते डर के आगे जीते, डर के आगे नया ट्रेंड है. So unless and until people are not been threatened that कि आपका प्रोटीन कम हो गया, आपका ये चढ़ गया, आपका वो चढ़ गया, they will not go more than their rajma chawal or dal rice or any other factor. But I think this is the right time for you guys to get into the market and get into the trend. And next 10 years are yours, is what I can see. I can see a plate filled with all the products like the protein-rich food in another 10 years' time in everyone's plate. Because उस समय काफी डर चुके रहेंगे सारे. So that's what my take on it.
So
can I give my
if I
take on
can,
this?
from the journey that I was sharing, we started it as a restaurant in India. First 18 months we ran it as a restaurant, just a 8-seater cafe. My wife was full-time into that. She's the founder. I'm the co-founder. So she was sitting there having face-to-face conversation with 6,000 plus people. And most people said, we are not looking for a meat alternative. We are looking for something that can be an ingredient that goes into my biryani. If I'm not eating meat on that day, I have something. Soya kise better ho. That is how it started. But eventually what we got is this texture which we went on to patent, the process, the technology itself. So I was quite excited to see technology was taking the center stage here. And and our positioning as well, if you see our website, our communication anywhere, we only talk about everybody needs protein. So here is one option. We don't tell people that don't consume meat, all of that, because India, not just India, I think it's a human psyche that when you tell somebody don't do something, they will do it more. So we are just making it an option. If they like it, they'll come back. Mangalwar hai, Friday hai, this month I can't eat meat, I still want my biryani. There is an option available that you can explore. So, yes, this is made of soy, rice protein, and coconut for fat. We don't use palm oil or any kind of this one, bad stuff.
Can I have my perspective on this whole plant-based thing? So, that ideally, if you see, everyone must be aware of, or not, I don't know. Recently, there has been a passing by the government in Italy that lab-made protein is not supposed to be sold in the country. They have banned it completely. Now the problem, I would like to second what Chef Limai said. See, the thing is that deficiency of protein, fulfilling that with a plant-based product, yes, makes sense. But if I'm a hardcore non-vegetarian, I will not shift to a plant-based protein. Once in a while, I might. Secondly, if I'm a vegetarian all my life, I do not know what a meat is, why will I eat it? I'm not missing anything in life. I have chosen the way of life. But, and at the same time, this is a high, ultra-processed food. If we talk of sausages and that stuff being ultra-processed and not good for human consumption after a certain quantity, then how come this is good for human consumption is very debatable, which till now none of the plant-based manufacturers have been able to answer this to me at least, because I deal with one-on-one a lot of brands. As far as that animal cruelty and all that is concerned, I am not even bothered about that, because that is something which is there and we can be intellectual about it, but here let's understand what we are here to sell and what we are here to do. So that is one thing is very, very clear that, if you want to sell plant-based protein, just sell something which has extracted this protein, fat, etc. from it, and the product is still not losing its basic characteristic. Converting into a meat or a fish or a salmon or God knows what not is actually not making sense. And I've already mentioned my reason. One thing that I feel that no one is talking about with plant-based protein is, so if we look at the actual non-vegetarian products, especially the red meat ones, it's a very old saying, you are what you eat. So one thing, it's again debatable, but yes, it is a fact that if you're a high consumption of red meat, you tend to be a short-tempered person. So at least that is getting taken care of by these kind of products. But that aspect no one is talking about. But actually that is a scientific sense also. So meat eaters will not buy this. Vegetarians do not know about it. So why are we making it and why are we trying to sell it? So I still have no answer for it. I guess someone should answer it.
I think it's a matter of perspectives. Chef Surri has a point. Yeah, go ahead.
The perspective, chef, that there is nowadays people are more traveled. So, biggest thing is we are talking only India per se, but when we are looking all across the globe, people internationally are not able to accept a vegetarian. Yeah. If you come today, you go anywhere across the globe, there is some food that is called vegan, not vegetarian. For them, it is much more easy for us to travel today. As Indians, we have had this difficulty. 5 years earlier, I don't think any vegetarian family was comfortable to travel. Their backpacks were more with the theplas and khakras going. That is exactly the evolution that's taken place through this plant-based protein.
That's where nomad foodie started. I mean, I was an avid traveler. And while traveling, I realized that there is an abundance of vegetarian food all over the world. You just need to know what to order, where to order, and how to order. That's about it. But people from India were traveling with loads of theplas and haldirams in their bags and all. So I started writing about it. And we interviewed Joan Roca, then Ferran Adria, Albert Adria, and we asked them to create a tasting menu which was all vegetarian. And they did it, and we wrote about it. So the point is, vegetarian is everywhere. You just need to know how to and where to find it. This, of course, is a matter of perspectives. The lab-made meat which was banned in Italy was the 3D meat that they had produced in labs. It was actual meat which they had grown through 3D technology. So that was banned. But plant-based protein, of course, is again what they're trying to do. And this is my perspective. I could be wrong, but what they're trying to do is they are trying to maintain the human-animal ratio on Earth to increase the sustainability and therefore reduce the amount of slaughter, and therefore creating a plant-based source. And now, if we go into history is all about evolution. We started off with ghee as a source. Then I remember there was a time when rath and dalda were primary sources of our cooking. Then it came down to vanaspati and refined, and then it came down to olive oil, canola, rice bran. So it keeps on evolving, right? These are mediums that we have all worked with, toyed with, and created food with. This is also another aspect of the same part of the evolution. That's my take to it.
So, on a strict nutritional perspective, I have a very strong opinion for and against plant-based meat. In terms of supporting, please don't smile at me, I'm getting very conscious. In terms of, and this comes as a person living with diabetes. So I've also studied certified diabetes education where we are taught about heart diseases, celiac, thyroid, blah, 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 blah. A lot of red meat is not allowed for people with a lot of health conditions like cholesterol, heart diseases, of course, for diabetes also. A lot of people are told that you're not supposed to have red meat beyond XYZ, which is where your indulgent comes in. I'm the unpopular anti-sugar person where I'm bringing in desserts, giving it to people who want to eat sweets. Inherently, they want sugar, but they can't have it. So that's where I feel you guys are doing a fantastic job. I think you guys are doing it. Then there's a jackfruit samosa, mutton keema, shakahari. They're doing it. Now comes the nutritional bad side of it. I may be wrong with your product, but this is what I've noticed. The amount of fat that goes in these products, especially egg replacements, the amount of oil that's present, it's unrealistically bad for your body. Like they'll tell you ki tum iska omelette bana lo aaj. Then now these days, this is what I'd heard back in, I'd gone to NIFTEM, NIFTEM Institute of Food Technology, back in 2019. There was this very sweet gentleman who came to me. He's like, I want to make you eat something, but don't think of it as an omelette. Think of it as a food. So when I ate it like a food, it felt like a chilla, like mummy besan ka khilati thi. And then when I ate it as an omelette, I was like, bro, this is not an omelette. And the day you tell me I can use it in my bakes, the day you can tell me it gives me as much, whatever, it's great. I said, show me the nutrition chart. That's where it flipped for me. Cholesterol, fat, whatever, trans fat, and this and that and that. Which is where I was like, dude, I'm eating meat for the protein. The supply of protein is overtaken by the fat. The processing of these kind of meats, these artificially created stuff, the genetically modified vegetables, because I'm sure our existing vegetable structures don't have that chemical capacity to create what is put on our table. So there are pros and cons to it, and I'm sure you'll be the better person answering this. But with egg replacements, I have that problem. I don't know about how it works for vegetable stuff.
I 100% agree with you. There is no taking back anything what you said. Everything is absolutely right. If we look at the global torchbearer of this particular industry, I won't take the names. Recently, there were reports that came out which we have been harping for a long time. 17 E numbers that you cannot. 17 E numbers, the INS numbers in the ingredient list. It can run into pages. But the concept, how they started was when a country is consuming 90 kgs per capita meat, you need to hit the taste notes. That's how they went about it, but they forgot that food is prana. It needs to be nutrition. At the end of the day, it needs to break down in your body properly. It's not like a car. A new car is launched, you take a test drive, the minute you are out of the car is out of you. Food stays inside you. How does it leave? So there is a complete journey that needs to be taken into account. There is no shortcut when it comes to food. That is what took us the 4.5 years effort. Last year we launched. Initially, a lot of similar questions came. And now also we continue to have these questions, but because there have been 20 brands that have gone with 20% oil. I'm not talking about just Indian, this one. I'm talking about even international brands carry a lot of oil and other things. Our product, the reason it took longer, it is coconut that we chose as a fat alternative, which breaks down very easily in your body. And INS numbers that we have are 3, which are all naturally derived. And we have 3% fat, 15% protein, and 0 cholesterol. And it blends into your regular cooking. You want to make a Rogan Josh, for example. Somebody has gone vegan or someone has gone sattvic, for all you know. And they want to throw a huge party, whatever it is. This becomes that option that you can bring into the table. So we are trying to give that one option that can help you evolve the dishes that you love. Dish is the hero. Our food is just a complementing aspect of it. That's it. Yeah. We are evolved plant-based protein. Yeah.
So the perspective of a vegetarian is also what's on the plate, how it looks, how it tastes. Because mushroom being vegetarian is despised by a lot of vegetarian houses because of the texture. Now, if I go to tell my father, who's also extremely religious, कि पापा jackfruit का meat खा लो versus नए तरह का खाना है, patty आई है. मेरी patty consider करके burger में खाई मुझे चबाने का थोड़ा अजीब है, पर अच्छा है. Versus mutton थोड़ा सीधा उल्टी है.
One more thing I want to add about this nomenclature. It is always better to call it protein than meat, because when you're listing your products on Zomato and Swiggy, the algorithm catches meat and marks it red. And how much ever you try, you still can't do it because the algorithm is made by God knows whom. And the people sitting at the call center do not know who has done that. So they say, sorry, we can't do it. So they capture that word. Like in fact, you get this veg oyster sauces. So if you mention it, by default वो dish non-veg चली जाती है, वो कोई order नहीं करता है. वो oyster sauce store में खराब हो जाता है. So you know, unfortunately, this is a problem. वो oyster mushroom लिख के भी फायदा नहीं हो रहा है.
So one man's food can be another man's poison. So it's all a perspective. Nothing is right or wrong. Okay. As a business opportunity, also we are not talking here. We are not here for health and nutrition. We are not a hospital. I generally, when one of my vice presidents said, chef's job is to distort the value of food. There's a normal dosa which is available, or there's a normal palak paneer. A progressive Indian kitchen in Grand Hyatt will sell that same palak paneer because there's a big chef, there's a beautiful plate there. So there's nothing wrong with any type of food. So you can't put around, there's a choice. One person should know the right choice. For example, I have a thyroid issue. I will not be able to eat this because this has got soya isolates, right? So I would love to have a substitute protein because I can't eat red meat every day. Okay, so, but there are people who eat red meat and non-veg, they have no issues of cholesterol. See how your genes are built, what is your culture, what is your father ate, and they're on, So there is nothing wrong and right about food. But having said that, now you can't eat dal chawal. Nobody wants to eat a real good food. By default, our food, what we eat at home, our parents have eaten, are normal good food. There's balanced protein. If it's a non-vegetarian, vegetarian, whatever, we are Gujarati, Rajasthani, Maharashtrian, the food was always balanced. But are we cooking that type of food? We are traveling. Half the time, 6 times of the day, so that is why the need. Plus, we want the taste. You see, the flavor profile of the young people have gone very high. You see on airlines what they serve. A packet of cashew nuts are loaded with spices. So who's going to eat a khichdi? Because already the palate of youngsters are loaded with all that, so the levels is very high. Nobody is able to enjoy subtle food. Kerala cuisine is subtle, nice brown rice, little bit of pickles, all that which is required around the food. Can we do that? It's not practical. Obviously, these type of things will come, and nutrition will also be a part. So selling, for example, when I work, we need to make spices with sprinklers to ease the operation. We need to make marinades and enzymes so that cooking and softening of the chicken can happen. Similarly, whenever you make a protein base, they decided a right path. So nothing is wrong in deciding. So you are in the right path. When Tesla created a driverless car, the steering wheel is still there. Okay, there's nobody sitting on the driver's seat. But you can't tell that there is no steering in the car. So obviously you need to, because people know how to make a biryani, they know how to make a suka. So they will use that application for this product. So you can't make a slice of ham and call it this is a vegetarian protein because we are not ham eaters. So what you've done is right. There's nothing wrong or right. What we need to see is what is the type of preservative. I'm just taking an example of mayonnaise. You go eat a burger, 35 grams of mayonnaise in any burger you eat, out of which 35% is fat. There is no food in that. It's just oil, salt, because I myself consult a mayonnaise company, okay? And if I don't do that, I won't know. There are at least 3 types of starch. There are 5 types of preservatives and enzymes and this thing. Yet the whole world is eating mayonnaise. Why? Because it's a good carrier of flavor. Okay, for a chef, it is very easy. It's very neutral. You put a flavor, it carries. You put it on a dim sum, you put it on a sushi, you line a plate, it's fantastic. Nothing wrong with this. Okay? So it's always one better than the other. So you cannot complain about any food, and we are in the world of processed food. We are traveling, we want to be global, we want good food, we want Instagram. So nothing is wrong and right. It's only a perspective.
Also increasing. I also feel like the end consumer is becoming even more conscious about what they're eating. Everyone wants more greener food. At least they want the label. At least they want to hear, and you just feel better. Perception. Sometimes when you pick up and you're like healthy, you go back and you actually read and you're like, what? Like what exactly is even going into it? But whether it's restaurants, whether it's cafe, whether it's food that you can order, whether it's ingredients, I do personally feel, at least I try and look for something which is healthier. I mean, I don't think there's anything called healthy that is misused. It can be a healthier alternative to what you are making. And Harsh, I don't know if you would agree, but I feel that like at least sometimes when I... Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, we are friends beyond here, and I share a very strong perspective, which is why we went from diabetic chef to also conscious mithai wala, which is a healthier alternative and not a healthy alternative, because you're not supplying any nutritive values. Mithai kha to mithai khao without sugar. I'm not making it like a protein burfi or like a
no, people do that. People actually do that, and then sometimes you're just wondering. I don't believe in it at all. Yeah. It's all the packaging. It's all about how you market it. I feel food is such a big FOMO. food is such a big emotion. When people travel, we go ahead and we first want to make reservations at where we want to eat because we've seen someone tag it or this is what we've heard. And people do go ahead and try and see how they can capture that emotion and then capitalize on that. To a huge extent, it's marketing. It's just if you put a healthier or if you put like protein, you just feel like this is better for me. You don't want to go back and read the ingredients. But I do feel like there are a lot of people who are looking for greener products, greener produce, which is with lesser preservatives residue in it. I mean, when I work with the European Union, we do try and make sure there's something called plant passport, which they have their own travel document to be able to trace back and understand how much is the residue in it. I know that for a larger Indian audience, they may not be kind of looking into the healthier aspect of it because our meals at home in that manner are, I mean, when I was staying alone and I had to decide on what meals I have to take, I would try and make sure that my meal is balanced because I'm not getting homemade food. And as there are people moving around different parts of the country, we all are moving, people are looking for it, especially in Bandra, every other day, healthier cafe. And then when you look at it, it has mayo in a wrap and I'm like, how is this healthy? Just because you put grilled chicken. Yeah, so
I think
That's the crux of the whole matter.
इधर खाओ या मत खाओ खाना और guilty feel करो लॉजिक ही नहीं समझ में आ रहा है what is guilt free eating utter nonsense like seriously
No, but we have come a long way from greasy gravies, what they used to be served earlier with full oil floating. A lot of people like हम लोग भारतीय लोग, we like to have good food. We want those sharing bowls. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो एक प्लेट में एक steak दिया, दो potato दिया और beans दिया. I mean, we've never eaten that kind of food, even from our ancestors. So somehow that part is always will be with us कि ये खाना है तो मतलब how Punjabis eat, how South Indian eats, how every look at वो तो मतलब वो match करना difficult है, but technology से I think if our topic was technology, I guess future food, we should also look at our real food that was always there, history about how things have evolved. So if you ask me, the recipes have been transported like all these years from mother to daughter to again, so that was some kind of a system that was there, and that's how we are still making our traditional food even after so many years. People have found wine after 3,500 years in Egypt. It was still encased in that mud pots. So technology was always there, I guess. Even during the Silk Route, there was a way of preserving food, how the food was getting transported. It's an amazing feel that when food is such a dynamic topic and everybody has their own way of looking at it. And coming to that old ancestral part or our past food, but we still we still have those recipes, and like people were doing TV shows that time, so that was very popular. In the recipes in that women's era kind of magazines also were very popular. So it has always been travel that media always played a big role in reaching out. So Instagram will always be popular, and there will be something else. Yeah, I mean. Now you just have to ask ChatGPT, hey, give me a recipe, and then it is there. You don't even have to look at the books. But there was a fun in going through a book to find that book to get that authentic recipe. So that was a different magic, or it was a different feel.
I think that's the crux of the thing. We come from a culture where fermentation, dehydration, steaming have been part of our our traditional cooking methods. Now, as Chef Pai said, with the new technology, with the new equipments, dehydrators and whatnot, the whole process, which used to take 15 days, now is reduced to a few hours. And that is where technology is taking us, while we are retaining those cooking methods. And that's what technology is all about. I think that's the crux of the whole thing, right? Of course, future trends will follow. Someone was mentioning about smart equipments. Yes, at Bakery Biz, I did see that. You feed in the recipe, and the monitor over there keeps on telling you, okay, this is the moment you add this ingredient, this is the moment you add this ingredient. Incredible. The technology drives you. But what lies behind that technology is the collective brains of all of us involved over here. And that's what drives the whole thing. Of course, integration of social platforms is absolutely essential. I wouldn't strike them off, because that is the need of the hour. That is what takes our vision forward and connects with the masses. Post-COVID, that has exactly been our model of business. From being a B2B segment, we have become B2C. Consumer is more savvy, technically, technologically, and also aware of the global food. Now they have access to those food right at the comforts of their homes. And we are adapting ourselves to take that food and bring it closer to them. Any other input out here, how you see the future trend? If there is anything else that you think should be talked about or remarked about, we would love to hear it.
Talk about the community eating that's coming back. Now we've back to the nuclear families. We've lost out in between to looking the Western culture. People became nuclear families, right? But now the community eating is coming back.
And this is a good trend. Yes, it's a beautiful trend.
I think that's again one of the future things.
Yeah.
That's where I think, like how we are saying, the lost recipes and the lost methods of cooking are going to really get us connected. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So I feel that is one of the biggest future trends that's coming in. What India was really known for.
The Sanja Chula concept and many other. Yeah.
The future.
Yeah, I remember my wife keeps on telling this anecdote. She's from Shimla, and their house had the only tandoor in the entire neighborhood. So every evening, ladies from their mohalla would bring in atta, and they would make the rotis in their tandoor, and everyone would sit around there chatting, gossiping, and then once the rotis were done, they would go to their homes, they would have their dinner. But that was their moment together of all the ladies, and every day they would talk and gossip and whatnot. So that whole culture was so beautiful, where everyone at the end of the day coming, cooking together, and then feeding their respective families, and sometimes even having a community table. We grew up in a society where all of us would spend our festivals together with foods made from home and bringing out to a common table. I'm glad that this trend is coming back. I am really genuinely glad that this is coming back, and I'm hoping that this only evolves further. The community feeling is a beautiful feeling, and if it connects through food, then there's nothing like it. Yeah. And on that note, I would like to wrap up, unless there are any questions from the audience or any of the esteemed members. Yes, I see a few. People are not bored. I'm having that.
Hello, check. Sir, actually, we are manufacturers. We have launched certain products, but I don't want to describe my products. I just wanted to know, like, you are so experienced chefs all over India, world. You are known chefs, but like entrepreneurs like us, how can we reach us? Is there any platform to make taste like you tasted here? Like, are there any platforms like we can come and make you taste our products? Because we as an entrepreneur are working very hard. My mom is 60 and
yeah, but we have the stalwarts over here.
Like from the chefs, I am part of the Western India Chefs Association. We are a group of 350 chefs. So we have a yearly conference which happens in the month of October. This is a very season time. October, November, December, a lot of exhibitions keep happening. Plus, we also work with colleges which are catering budding chefs, because chefs who are coming out from the industry, that is the right time to catch them, spread the knowledge. There are a lot of chef's tables which happen, wherein we collaborate with a wine company, a product company, and the chef stands out of that hotel, and we invite the chefs there. Like these people have invited, and you know how there's a brainstorming. So you have an opportunity to talk about your product, like the gentleman over here spoke. How to get, so there has to be an excuse or opportunity. Opportunities are plenty. Chefs generally don't come out because they're working hard from morning to evening. If you see here, they're generally all consultant chefs. Okay, exact working chef is working there from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So see the difference. That will be very difficult for a chef to come. So when we plan that chef's table, it is on a Wednesday or a Thursday evening. Okay, a lot of callings have to be done. When we do a chef connect, which even in spite of it being our own this thing, the attendance becomes very difficult. So in order to reach out a chef is very difficult, because he's reporting at 8 o'clock, finishing at 7, and then possibly he's go home. So we don't do it on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The events are generally on Thursday or Wednesday, and it's a closed table. More what interests them is knowledge sharing, okay, some bit of entertainment, and that is what we do. And we create a platform. So it is about a budget is planned. Sometimes the budget is not good enough on one person, then 5 of them collaborate, you know. And people like here, you can contact any of them, or you can go on the website of HoReCa. HoReCa has a once in a year conference, like what is happening now is a culinary competition. So for the judging, the panels are professional chefs. They come there, they volunteer, they're not paid. They volunteer and they come there for the budding chef. There are different categories, the presentation at a global level. Every year I can say I'm there for the last 15 years, I'm watching the competition of youngsters. So the type of ingredients they're using, the type of plating, and unbelievable. And even I can think out of the box thinking, because this new generation of Instagram, see, good things can be picked up. There are always bad things available on social media. But unless you don't come out with a stupid idea, there has to be an idea. Okay, so whether it's good or bad, that is later. But there has to be idea. Who decides it is very stupid or wrong, that is later. But all that ideas which come out from you watching this video. For example, what I see is, I am on Instagram, but I am following all top chefs around the world. Can you imagine being in India? I am able to see what is happening around the world. I have seen in my lifetime, last 3 years, one chef called Chef Pillai. He's a billionaire now. Okay? He's a hand cooking chef, not Instagram. Like I know his story. He worked in UK, we get inspired by him. He still cooks the same way in his house in Kerala. Real fish, real seafood, brown rice, and all that. And he has taken it all around the world. All around. So that is what is the power of chefs, and because chefs are too dedicated to what they do. You know, they're a bit different. They're not business people. So they work from here, you know, more from the heart. So that is the difference. We can't be businessmen. More emotions there. So how to connect them? Once you connect them, once you get an entry into their purchase manager is not the decision maker. Right? It is the chef who decides for a hotel. Okay, like in a house, it's the wife who decides. In a hotel, it is the chef who decides. So if you try to influence them, and say the right path and create that opportunity, one sitting you'll get 35 chefs. And this doesn't happen in Mumbai. Every area. Delhi has got IFC, Chennai has got Sika, Goa has got, so every got a chapter. We have a Western chapter, and the main chapter is IFCA, which is the Indian Body of Chefs, which comes under WAX, which is the World Association of Chefs. Okay, yeah, so that's where it is.
So it's a good thing that you're focusing on getting your products tested by chefs, because you have to be ready, because you will get brutally candid reviews of your product if you get it tested by chefs. So there is one thing of getting it through a reviewer and influencer.
Chef Altamsh was supposed to be here from what this one. So our brand was launched by him at Obelisk through UB City. So we had Oakwood, sorry. yeah. Oakwood, we had an event where we invited about 30 industry opinion leaders, and he dished out a full course menu, and that was brilliant. That kicked us off last year, and today we have about 50 plus brands, 9 cities, HRX, like Shangri-La, all of these clients we were able to bag after getting that validation and inputs, which we had to work on, improvise, and bring it back. So this is a great forum where you you can figure out the taste. Rest of the things is technology, composition, you're trying to do a lot of things, but you cannot appeal to a consumer unless chefs have approved it. So
That's a verified version of chef, what chefs was running. I run more of an hacker version of chefs. So whereby I run a forum called Chef Decoded, whereby almost around 500 exec chefs from across India are part of the forum. Plus in my network there are around 10,000 plus chefs who are there, and I'm legally connected with all of them. And also being in distribution business for very long, around 3 years now, I am associated with almost all the restaurants, all the chefs, and they're all friends. So I run most of an hacker version of the chefs community. But yes, it is good to connect and good to just be with them. Though even I am not cooking in the kitchen, but I have a privilege to enter everyone's kitchen and see what they are cooking, or get them the products which are there in the market, which they are not able to procure. I am the one who get them those products and help them cook. So any request that needs to be escalated to any vendor, or if you want to find out what is and where is it is available.
Faster than ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Like
faster than.
So I would like to appreciate what it does. It's just a WhatsApp group with so many chefs, we don't even know each other. But it is just about somebody wants something in Bhopal. There might be a chef there on this group. And there's a solution. Immediately in 5 minutes, just before that, somebody was traveling to US and he wanted masala from Goa. So I put there, I got direct 3 messages saying that, yeah, what quantities you want. So Goan masala, especially you add vinegar and your kafrial is ready. So that is the type of power or technology, and I appreciate what he's created that group, because there's a lot of nonsense has to be there. There's good mornings and good evenings, all those festival greetings he controls. But I don't know how many chefs are there.
There are 500 plus.
500 chefs, and that is he has categorized also. I think he has got a senior chef, and he also has got a junior chef group. So a lot of recruitments which happen. Somebody wants a specialized Sindhi chef for a buffet there. Somebody puts, and immediately the answer comes in. So that's the strength of collaboration and technology.
So just as a case study for us, we do have cases where institutional partnerships that we are chasing, the decision makers arrive in a city, you may not have your product. And we keep wondering, can we send our RM to some reliable chef and get that experience in that city? And it's a longer route to get that. Can we tap into this? Can we reach out to you for some help on these things?
Yeah, definitely. For anything, as Chef has rightly mentioned, the product has to look that valuable for him to put that much effort or time behind that product. If I want to promote your product, I may go and talk about it, and people may be more inclined towards those kind of products because they have never tasted those products or never tried those products. But if the products are simple like in spices, because as a distributor, I meet around 20-25 vendors a day, and it's all the repetitive products. It's all the repetitive products, and everyone wants me to go and pitch their product. It is not possible. Chef Akshay, if I keep on pitching in the products that I get, he will not talk to me next week.
Everything else, because it's a commodity, he loses credibility. So what happens is, as a chef, because chef is not a salesman, in order to do that, there has to be differentiation. Because you can't talk about a commodity. There are hundreds of pastas, dry fruits every day coming, cranberries and nuts. But there's a differentiation in that product where the chef gets the value, there's a change in the menu, or he's saving some staffing, in terms of some skill he's going to cut down, or some storage space he's going to save in the kitchen. Then that chef is interested.
So there are 2 ways to approach. Either you tell them that I get this product at the best rate and everyone would agree, or you say that I am the only one who is creating this product. There are only 2 ways you can do. A commodity, you can work on the rate, and otherwise you have to be a pioneer in creating
To
something.
target a chef, that is the way. To target a purchase manager, like we had in Unilever, we had psychology as a chef. We studied a psychology of a chef to understand how to go and how to target the salesmanship. There's a traditional chef, there's a modern chef. So understand the thinking of a chef. Because talk to chef is different. You can't talk the same language. There are different categories. There's somebody in the flight kitchen. There's somebody working for a packed food company. So when you target it, you have to understand the psychology. Whereas the purchase manager is price-based. So in Unilever, we had 2 products which we're selling at loss. But that gives us the entry. The moment a tomato ketchup is sold, always tomato ketchup keeps changing brand because the purchase manager wants to save his bit. So the salesman goes to sell tomato paste and ketchup, eventually he comes out selling a marinade. Because the doors get opened. Otherwise, 6 calls, nobody picks up the call. So it's all about how you deal. So understanding the psychology of a chef is very important in order to target.
That's a completely different session and even elaborate one. And definitely a very exciting one. Yeah. On that note, first of all, I thank you all for putting in your grain of sand in this conversation. Really good inputs. Thank you very much. Let us all give a big round of applause to all of you.